Nature in America has a wild imagination. We are diving into 33 of its most mind-blowing creations, where the rulebook was thrown out the window. By the end of this, you will know about animals that freeze solid and come back to life, a creature that punches with the force of a bullet, and a bird that can remember tens of thousands of hiding places. How did a lizard evolve to survive a rattlesnake's bite? And what tiny animal creates a bubble hotter than the sun? Which of these facts makes you question everything you thought you knew about the animal kingdom? A creature that walks through a world of hidden dangers might need more than just speed or strength to survive. The Virginia opossum possesses a defense so powerful it borders on the supernatural, an unbreakable immune system. This animal can be bitten by a rattlesnake or a copperhead and simply shake off the venom as if it were nothing more than a minor irritation. Its body treats some of nature's most potent toxins as a mere nuisance. But its resistance does not stop there. The opossum can also withstand the deadly poison of botulism and has a remarkable near-total immunity to the rabies virus. It is a walking medical marvel, a testament to evolution's most creative solutions. The secret lies in a unique protein found in the opossum's blood, a molecule that acts like a master key, neutralizing a wide array of venomous compounds before they can cause any real harm. Scientists are now intently studying this incredible biological shield, hoping to unlock its secrets. The goal is to synthesize these protective proteins, potentially creating the foundation for a universal antivenom that could one day save human lives. The humble opossum, often misunderstood, is quietly offering a gift from the wild, a blueprint for survival written in its very blood. While one animal relies on an internal shield, another has evolved a tool of pure speed. Deep in the wetlands of the northeastern United States, a creature navigates its world in near-total darkness, guided by one of the most extraordinary sensory organs on the planet. The star-nosed mole's face is dominated by a fleshy, star-shaped nose, a structure so bizarre it seems almost alien. This is not merely for show. That star is a hyper-sensitive touch organ, a biological masterpiece packed with over 25,000 minute sensory receptors. To put that into perspective, your entire hand has only about 17,000. This star allows the mole to essentially see the world through touch, interpreting its subterranean environment with a clarity and speed that defies belief. It can identify and decide whether something is edible in an astonishingly short time, as little as 8 milliseconds. That is faster than the human brain can even process a single blink. This incredible speed translates directly into its title as the fastest eating mammal on Earth. The entire process from detection to consumption can happen in 120 milliseconds, a blur of motion that is over before you even realize it has begun. It touches, recognizes, and eats all in the time it takes for a thought to form in your mind. That same need for safety drives another American giant to take to the skies each evening. We often picture turkeys as awkward, ground-bound birds, but when the sun begins to set, they reveal a secret talent. Entire flocks of wild turkeys, some individuals weighing over 20 pounds, launch themselves into the air with powerful wing beats. They ascend high into the branches of trees, seeking refuge for the night. This nightly ritual is a noisy, spectacular affair. As dusk settles, the woods echo with the sound of their heavy bodies rustling leaves and the distinct flapping of their wings as they claim their perches high above the forest floor. Up there, they are safe from the prowling threats of foxes, coyotes, and raccoons. But their elevated bedroom comes with its own unique danger. The cover of darkness brings the silent, ghostly flight of the great horned owl. From a higher branch, this formidable predator can swoop down on a sleeping turkey, making the treetops a place of both sanctuary and peril. It is a constant reminder that in the wild, even a safe haven is only relative. High above the forest floor, the nightly struggle for survival is a quiet one. But on the ground, a far more brutal confrontation unfolds. The wolverine, a creature that seems forged from pure tenacity, embodies a different kind of power. Weighing only around 30 or 40 pounds, this compact animal possesses a reputation that echoes through the northern Rockies, a legend of ferocity that far exceeds its physical size. It is an animal that does not know the meaning of backing down. With powerful jaws, robust limbs, and semi-retractable claws, the wolverine is a formidable predator, capable of taking down prey like caribou or deer, animals many times its own weight. But its true nature is revealed in its confrontations with the wilderness's top predators. There are documented accounts of a single wolverine confronting a grizzly bear or a mountain lion, and not just standing its ground, but aggressively driving the larger animal away from its own hard-won meal. This is not mere scavenging, this is a direct, audacious challenge. The wolverine's seemingly fearless behavior stems from an incredible survival instinct and a strength-to-size ratio that is virtually unmatched in the animal kingdom. It is a true ecosystem engineer, its relentless movements and caching of food helping to distribute nutrients across vast, unforgiving landscapes. In a world of giants, the wolverine proves that sheer will can be the most powerful weapon of all. Even in the heart of the swamp, a place ruled by ancient instincts, nature weaves a story of unintended generosity. The American alligator, often cast as a lone predator, plays a surprisingly vital role as an ecosystem architect. During the dry seasons, these powerful reptiles use their snouts and powerful tails to excavate depressions in the mud, creating what are known as gator holes. As the water recedes from the surrounding marsh, these holes become deep, life-saving reservoirs. They are the last remaining pools in a parched landscape, vital oases that sustain entire communities of fish, turtles, insects, and birds through the harshest times. But the alligator's role as an accidental gardener does not end with providing water. These reptiles have been known to consume fruit on occasion, and the seeds from these meals pass through their digestive systems unharmed. Deposited in the nutrient-rich mud surrounding their dens, these seeds find the perfect conditions to sprout and grow. So, from the heart of the alligator's domain, new life emerges. The very creature that commands fear is, in its own way, sowing the seeds for the future of the Everglades, a perfect example of how the wildest corners of America are built on a foundation of unexpected connections. From the slow, deliberate power of the alligator, we shift to a creature whose life is measured in frantic heartbeats. The ruby-throated hummingbird exists in a state of perpetual energy crisis. To keep its tiny body aloft, it must sustain a metabolism so ferocious it borders on the impossible. This bird's heart is a marvel of biological engineering, capable of beating more than 1,200 times every single minute. Just to stay alive, a hummingbird must consume more than its entire body weight in nectar each day. That is the human equivalent of drinking a bathtub full of sugary soda every 24 hours. Its world is a blur of constant motion, a desperate search for the next flower, the next sip of fuel. But this high-speed life comes with a terrible vulnerability. When the sun sets and the flowers close, the hummingbird faces a new threat, the simple, chilling cold of the night. Without a constant intake of energy, its tiny body would quickly freeze and starve. So it performs a nightly miracle. The hummingbird enters a state called torpor, a deep hibernation unlike any ordinary sleep. Its metabolic rate plummets. Its heart rate slows to a mere handful of beats per minute. Its body temperature crashes to near the surrounding air. To all outward appearances, the bird is not sleeping, it is nearly dead. It has found a way to cheat the energy demands of its own body, shutting down its systems completely to survive until the morning sun offers its next chance at life. This daily cycle of frantic activity and near-suspended animation is a breathtaking gamble, a dance on the very edge of survival. This incredible speed is an echo from a world long gone. The pronghorn, North America's fastest land mammal, can sustain bursts of over 55 miles per hour, a pace that seems utterly excessive on today's plains. After all, what predator in modern America could possibly require that kind of velocity to escape? The answer lies not in the present, but deep in the prehistoric past. This animal is outrunning a ghost. Its breathtaking speed is an evolutionary relic, a trait perfected to escape the one creature that could truly challenge it, the now extinct American cheetah. For millennia, these two were locked in an evolutionary arms race, predator and prey pushing each other to the absolute limits of performance. The pronghorn did not just evolve to be fast, it evolved for endurance, capable of maintaining a blistering 30-mile-per-hour pace for miles on end, a trait that would have worn down any pursuer. Even its coat is a masterpiece of adaptation. Its hairs are hollow, providing superb insulation against the bitter cold of the open plains, yet also aiding in that effortless, wind-slicing run. Every aspect of the pronghorn is a living monument to a forgotten conflict, a creature still running from a predator that vanished 11,000 years ago. It is nature's greatest anachronism, a champion without a current rival, forever racing against the memory of a shadow. Some creatures race against forgotten predators, while others hold the secret to rebuilding what was lost. In the clear, cold waters of a lake that no longer exists in the wild, a real-life miracle once swam. The axolotl, a salamander native only to Lake Xochimilco in Mexico, is now virtually extinct in its natural habitat. Yet its legacy thrives in research laboratories all across America, where it is revered not for its speed or strength, but for its almost magical power of regeneration. This unique animal can regrow an entire leg, complete with bones, muscles, and nerves in a matter of weeks. If its spine is severed, it can heal it. If its heart is damaged, it can repair the tissue. It can even regenerate significant portions of its own brain, and all of this happens without leaving a single scar. This biological wizardry defies everything we know about healing. For most animals, including humans, a severe injury triggers a process of inflammation and scarring. Our bodies patch the wound with fibrous tissue, a quick fix that seals the breach but sacrifices function. The axolotl works differently. At the site of an injury, its cells perform a remarkable feat. They revert back to a more primitive, unspecialized state, effectively becoming blank slates. This mass of cells, called a blastema, then begins the meticulous work of rebuilding the lost structure from scratch, perfectly replicating the original limb or organ as if following a detailed blueprint. Scientists are intensely studying this process, hoping to unlock the genetic and cellular commands that guide this perfect reconstruction. The ultimate goal is to one day apply these principles to human medicine, potentially allowing us to regenerate damaged spinal cords, repair heart muscle after a heart attack, or even regrow lost fingers. The axolotl, a ghost in its own homeland, offers a living promise, a glimpse into a future where the body's deepest injuries are not permanent but merely temporary. But regeneration is a slow and deliberate art, a stark contrast to a creature that delivers destruction in a fraction of a second. Along the sandy bottoms of the Atlantic and Gulf coasts, the pistol shrimp is a master of explosive force. This small, unassuming crustacean possesses a specialized claw that is grotesquely oversized, looking almost like a mismatched piece of armor. When it spots a potential meal, it cocks this claw open like a pistol, then snaps it shut with impossible speed. The movement is so violently fast that it does not simply close on the water, it tears a hole in it. The snapping action forces a jet of water to shoot out at nearly 60 miles per hour, and this is where physics takes a truly bizarre turn. That high-speed jet creates a low-pressure zone directly behind it, causing the water to literally vaporize, forming a tiny bubble of nothing, a vacuum in the sea. This is a cavitation bubble, and its life is brutally short. The surrounding water pressure immediately rushes in to crush the void. the collapse is so instantaneous and so powerful that it generates an intense shockwave. For a split second, the temperature inside that collapsing bubble soars to an unbelievable 8,000 degrees Fahrenheit, a flash hotter than the surface of the sun. The event also produces a deafening click, a sonic boom underwater that reaches 218 decibels, loud enough to stun or even kill a small fish passing by. This entire process, from the snap of the claw to the fatal collapse of the bubble, happens in less than 300 microseconds. The pistol shrimp never even touches its prey. It hunts with a controlled, underwater explosion, harnessing the raw power of physics to turn the ocean itself into a weapon. It is one of the loudest and certainly the hottest events for its size anywhere in the natural world. That explosive heat is a fleeting inferno, but another creature survives by embracing the cold on an entirely different scale. The wood frog, a humble resident of northern forests, performs a resurrection each spring that defies the very definition of death. As winter's grip tightens, this amphibian does not simply hibernate in a burrow. It undergoes a transformation that seems more like science fiction than biology. The frog finds a shallow refuge beneath the leaf litter, and as the temperature plummets, its body begins to shut down. Ice crystals form in its body cavity and between its cells. Its heart stops beating completely, its blood ceases to flow, its brain shows no activity. For all observable purposes, the wood frog is not sleeping. It is a frozen, lifeless block of organic matter, with up to 70% of the water in its body turned to solid ice. It remains in this state for weeks or even months, a statue in a frozen landscape. The return of spring warmth brings the true miracle. The ice within its body begins to melt. Its heart, against all odds, gives a single, shuddering beat, then another, and then settles into a steady rhythm. Within hours, the frog is fully restored, hopping away as if its brush with solid ice was nothing more than a brief nap. The secret to this impossible revival lies in its liver, which floods its system with a massive dose of glucose as the freezing process begins. This special sugar acts as a powerful natural antifreeze, a cryoprotectant that protects the frog's delicate cells from the destructive power of ice. It prevents the cells from dehydrating and stops sharp ice crystals from shredding their membranes from the inside out. The wood frog does not fight the freeze, it orchestrates it, using chemistry to walk right up to the line of death and then step gracefully back. It is a living lesson in suspended animation, a creature that has mastered the art of stopping time itself. That same ocean holds another master of explosive force, a creature whose weaponized strike is so fast it literally breaks the physics of sight. The mantis shrimp, a vibrant resident of tropical coastal waters, carries a pair of clubs that are biological marvels of engineering. These appendages are not merely strong, they are the fastest known predatory strike in the entire animal kingdom. When the mantis shrimp decides to attack, it unleashes a blow with an acceleration equal to that of a .22 caliber bullet. The force is so immense it can instantly shatter the hard, calcified shells of crabs and clams, and it is notorious in marine circles for its ability to crack the thick glass of aquarium walls. But the true wonder of this punch happens in the water itself. The strike is so unbelievably swift that it creates a phenomenon known as cavitation. The club moves faster than the water can flow around it, resulting in the formation of vapor-filled bubbles. When these bubbles instantly collapse, they release a secondary shockwave, a concussive blast of energy that stuns or kills the prey, even if the initial physical blow does not connect. This collapse is so violent it momentarily generates temperatures rivaling the surface of the sun, and even produces a fleeting flash of light, a process called sonoluminescence. The mantis shrimp effectively punches its target twice, first with its club and then with a bubble of pure energy. And to guide this devastating attack, it possesses arguably the most complex visual system on the planet. Its eyes move independently and can see a spectrum of light far beyond our own, including polarized light and multiple types of ultraviolet. Some research even suggests its sophisticated vision could allow it to detect the subtle light scattering of cancer cells, making it a living diagnostic tool. This is a predator that perceives a hidden world of color and light, all to aim a punch that ends its prey with the force of a gunshot. That same power to reshape an ecosystem is written on a truly continental scale, carved into the earth by the hoofprints of the American bison. Far more than just an icon, this massive animal was the original architect of the Great Plains. Its herds, numbering in the tens of millions, did not simply live on the land, they actively built and maintained it. The bison's grazing habits were a form of natural landscaping. By selectively feeding on certain grasses, they prevented any single plant species from dominating, fostering an incredible biodiversity of forbs and flowering plants that countless other creatures relied upon. But their most profound impact came from a simple, dusty behavior: wallowing. A bison would roll on the ground, scratching an itch and displacing tons of earth to create a massive, shallow depression. These wallows were not just temporary dust baths. They collected rainwater, becoming vital ephemeral pools for frogs, insects, and birds. Over generations, these repeated wallows altered drainage patterns and soil composition, creating a mosaic of micro-habitats across millions of acres. The animal itself was a fortress of survival, its winter coat so incredibly dense and matted that historical accounts from frontiersmen claimed it could literally stop a musket ball from a black powder rifle, a walking shield against the weapons of the time. The thundering movement of these immense herds compacted the soil in some areas and aerated it in others, their trails becoming the first roads used by westward settlers. The very shape of the American heartland, its biodiversity and its topography, was once dictated by the endless, rhythmic cycle of the bison's life. Their near extermination was not just the loss of an animal, it was the silencing of the primary force that had engineered an entire biome. While the bison shaped the plains, another animal engineers entire watersheds with nothing but its own two front teeth. The beaver is North America's most prolific and tireless landscape architect, a creature that does not merely adapt to its environment but actively rebuilds it from the ground up. A single beaver family can fundamentally alter the flow of a stream, transforming a narrow, fast-moving waterway into a sprawling, life-giving wetland. They achieve this by constructing dams, intricate structures of mud, stones, and meticulously placed logs and branches. This is not random piling, it is deliberate, skilled construction. The resulting pond does far more than just provide the beavers with a safe, deep home. It slows the water's flow, which in turn drastically reduces soil erosion downstream. As the water settles, suspended silt and pollutants sink to the bottom, leaving it cleaner and clearer than when it entered. This newly created wetland becomes an instant oasis, attracting a spectacular diversity of life. Frogs, fish, turtles, waterfowl, and mammals of all kinds flock to this new habitat, a direct result of the beaver's relentless work. The entire local ecosystem is reshaped, its biodiversity and resilience dramatically increased by the presence of these furry engineers. To accomplish this monumental task, the beaver is equipped with two extraordinary biological tools. Its most famous feature, its oversized front teeth, are a masterpiece of durability. They are fortified with a layer of iron, which gives them their distinctive rust-orange color and makes them incredibly strong and resistant to chipping. More importantly, these teeth never stop growing. This constant growth is perfectly offset by the immense wear from gnawing through hardwood, a self-sharpening system that ensures their tools are always ready for the next project. And when it is time to work underwater, the beaver has a built-in solution. It possesses a set of transparent eyelids that function like natural swimming goggles. These nictitating membranes close over its eyes, protecting them from floating debris while allowing it to see perfectly clearly as it navigates the murky depths of its own creation. The beaver is a force of nature in the truest sense, a single species whose innate drive to build literally redraws the map, creating lush, complex worlds out of simple streams. Even the most iconic symbols of the wild have their secrets. The bald eagle, a national emblem of power and freedom, harbors a surprisingly opportunistic side. High above a lake, you might witness a dramatic aerial confrontation. An osprey, a master fisherman, will rise from the water clutching a silvery fish in its talons. From a higher vantage point, the bald eagle makes its move. It does not dive for the water, but for the osprey itself. With powerful, intimidating swoops, it harasses the smaller bird until it is forced to drop its hard-won catch. The eagle then swoops down and snatches the falling fish from the air. This behavior is known as kleptoparasitism, and for the bald eagle, it is not a last resort but a common strategy. It is a calculated energy saver, a way to secure a meal without the effort and risk of the hunt. This habit stands in stark contrast to its regal image, revealing a pragmatic survivor beneath the majestic feathers. Of course, the eagle is fully capable of hunting for itself, possessing talons with a crushing grip and a beak built for tearing. Its eyesight is arguably its most majestic feature, estimated to be 4 to 8 times more powerful than a human's, allowing it to spot a fish from over a mile away. This incredible vision guides both its own dives and its thefts, and when it is time to raise a family, the eagle's engineering prowess is undeniable. They construct the largest tree nests of any bird in North America, massive structures of intertwined sticks that can weigh over a ton. These nests are used and expanded year after year, becoming a permanent, towering monument in the forest canopy, a testament to a creature that is both a noble builder and a clever, unapologetic thief. While some creatures build empires from streams, others carry a genetic puzzle within their armored bodies. The 9-banded armadillo, the only species that calls the United States home, is a creature of profound biological quirks. Its most baffling trait is a reproductive strategy that defies the odds. Nearly every single time an armadillo gives birth, it delivers a litter of exactly 4 pups. These are not just ordinary siblings, they are genetically identical quadruplets, all derived from a single fertilized egg. After fertilization, that single egg splits once, and then each of those 2 resulting cells splits again, creating 4 separate embryos that share 100% of their DNA. This means every litter is a set of perfect miniature clones, a phenomenon unique among mammals and a stunningly reliable biological event. Beyond this remarkable birth, the armadillo is full of other surprises. It is a creature built like a tank, yet it navigates its world with unexpected grace. When faced with a narrow body of water, it does not swim in the conventional sense. Instead, the armadillo gulps a massive amount of air to inflate its intestines, increasing its buoyancy just enough to float. Then, it simply walks, holding its breath for up to 6 minutes as it strides purposefully along the riverbed, a slow-motion pedestrian in an aquatic world. On land, its defenses are just as peculiar. When startled, this heavily plated animal does not always curl into a ball. Instead, it performs a bizarre, vertical leap straight into the air, a maneuver that can startle a potential predator just long enough for the armadillo to make its escape. From its cloned litters to its riverbed walks and sudden jumps, the armadillo proves that even the most ancient-looking designs are packed with evolutionary innovations. Even in the world of the armadillo's strange defenses, there exists a predator whose life cycle reads like a horror story. The tarantula hawk wasp is a creature of terrifying beauty, its iridescent blue-black body and rust-colored wings gleaming like polished metal in the desert sun. This beauty, however, is a warning. The female wasp has one singular, gruesome purpose: to provide for her future offspring. She actively hunts tarantulas, spiders that are often many times her own size. The hunt is a deliberate, high-stakes confrontation. She must deliver a perfectly placed sting, injecting a venom that is not meant to kill but to precisely paralyze. The massive spider is rendered completely immobile, a prisoner inside its own body, fully aware but utterly unable to move. The wasp then begins the laborious process of dragging her colossal prize, often uphill and across rough terrain, back to a pre-dug burrow. She tucks the living spider into this underground chamber and lays a single white egg on its abdomen. Then she seals the tomb. When the egg hatches, the larva emerges into a world where its first meal is waiting. It begins to feed, meticulously avoiding the tarantula's vital organs to keep its food source fresh and alive for as long as possible. The spider is consumed from the inside out, a gruesome, protracted end that ensures the larva has all the nourishment it needs to grow and eventually emerge as a new adult wasp. The sting that begins this nightmare is legendary in its own right. Entomologist Justin Schmidt, who created the Schmidt Sting Pain Index, described the tarantula hawk's sting as a blinding, electric agony that simply shuts down the body's ability to do anything but feel. He ranked it as a level 4, the highest rating on his scale, an experience so explosively painful that the only sane reaction is to lie down and scream. It is a pain so intense it has been compared to being hit by a live electrical wire. This tiny insect, in its pursuit of life for its young, wields one of the most potent defensive weapons in the entire animal kingdom, a fleeting moment of pure, unadulterated torment that sets the stage for a much slower, more deliberate horror. This ruthless efficiency is a far cry from the careful parenting seen elsewhere in the forest, but for some birds, even that effort is too much. The cuckoo has perfected a life of total deception. Both the yellow-billed and black-billed cuckoos practice a strategy known as brood parasitism, a biological con game where they trick other birds into raising their young. A female cuckoo will secretly watch a potential host nest, often belonging to a smaller songbird like a warbler or a sparrow. She waits for the perfect moment when the parent is away, then slips in, lays a single egg and vanishes, never to return. Her work is done. The egg itself is often a masterpiece of mimicry, colored and patterned to closely resemble the host's own eggs, making the intrusion difficult to detect. The unsuspecting foster parents return, none the wiser, and begin the laborious task of incubating the foreign egg alongside their own. When the cuckoo chick hatches, the real deception begins. It often grows at an astonishing rate, quickly dwarfing its nest mates. An instinctual drive for survival compels it to become a brutal competitor. The young cuckoo, still blind and featherless, will methodically hoist the host's own eggs or chicks onto its back and heave them over the edge of the nest, eliminating all competition for the food brought by the hardworking parents. The host birds, driven by a powerful parental instinct, will now focus all their feeding efforts on this single, gigantic chick that is not their own. They work themselves to exhaustion, stuffing food into the gaping mouth of an imposter, a chick that will soon outgrow the nest itself. It is a heartbreaking scene of biological manipulation, where the kindness of parenting is brutally exploited by a master of evolutionary trickery. While the cuckoo's deception relies on stealth, the Gila monster presents its danger openly, a living jewel of the American Southwest whose beauty is a stark warning. This lizard is one of the only truly venomous lizards on the planet, and it delivers its toxin in a way that is as unique as it is terrifying. Unlike a snake that strikes and injects with hollow fangs, the Gila monster has no such specialized tools. Instead, its venom is a product of pure grinding force. The venom is produced in glands in its lower jaw and travels through grooves in its teeth. To deliver its payload, the Gila monster must latch onto its prey with a powerful, vise-like bite and then chew, working the neurotoxin deep into the wound. This is not a quick surgical strike. It is a brutal, sustained assault. The venom itself attacks the nervous system, but for something as large as a human, it is rarely fatal. The real danger lies in the sheer tenacity of the bite. Once a Gila monster clamps down, it is notoriously difficult to pry loose, and its reluctance to let go only ensures more venom seeps into the injury. Its stunning, beaded skin in patterns of black and vibrant orange or pink is not just for show. This bold coloration is a classic example of aposematism, nature's universal sign for danger, a clear message to any potential predator to think twice. This creature lives life at an almost glacial pace, governed by an incredibly slow metabolism. It can survive on just 3 or 4 large meals in an entire year. To make this possible, it stores vast amounts of fat and water in its tail, which swells into a plump, nutritious reservoir. In lean times, it simply lives off these stored resources, its tail gradually thinning as it sustains the lizard through months of scarcity. The Gila monster is a perfect paradox, a slow-moving, methodical animal that carries one of the most intimate and gruesome venoms in the world. High above the forest floor, a different kind of flight takes place under the cover of darkness. The flying squirrel is a master of the midnight sky, a furry acrobat that transforms the air itself into a navigable highway. It does not fly in the way a bird does with powered wing beats, but instead performs breathtaking glides from tree to tree. The secret to this aerial prowess is a specialized membrane called the patagium. This stretchy, furry flap of skin acts like a living parachute, extending from the squirrel's front wrists all the way back to its ankles. When the squirrel leaps into the void, it spreads all 4 legs wide, pulling the patagium taut to form a square, aerodynamic gliding surface. This allows it to catch the air and soar, covering astonishing distances of over 150 feet in a single, silent leap. But steering this living glider requires incredible control. Using its limbs as rudders and its long, flat tail as a stabilizer, the squirrel can execute sharp, 90-degree turns in mid-air to deftly avoid branches and swoop precisely onto a trunk. It is a display of aerial agility that would make any pilot envious. Yet, for all its grace in the air, this creature holds a secret that is completely invisible to our eyes. Under the glow of an ultraviolet light, the flying squirrel's belly fur radiates a vibrant, shocking pink. Scientists believe this biofluorescence may help the squirrels see each other in the dim, moonlit forest, a secret neon sign in a world of shadows. Far from being solitary, these nocturnal gliders are surprisingly social, often nesting together in large groups to share warmth during the harsh winter months. They communicate with each other through a series of soft chirps and twitters, a hidden community chattering in the dark, their glowing fur and silent flights weaving a secret life in the treetops. Deep within the cold, rushing streams of the eastern United States, an ancient creature glides through the water like a living fossil. The hellbender salamander looks like something from another world, a river monster with a flattened head, a body covered in loose, slimy, wrinkled skin, and a paddle-like tail. It is North America's largest amphibian, growing over 2 feet long, yet it spends its entire life hidden under large, flat rocks. This bizarre appearance is not just for show. Every fold and wrinkle on its skin serves a critical purpose. The hellbender breathes almost entirely through its skin, absorbing oxygen directly from the water. Those extensive skin folds dramatically increase its surface area, acting like a set of external gills to maximize the amount of oxygen it can pull from its environment. This unique biology makes it incredibly vulnerable. Because it relies on this direct absorption, the hellbender cannot tolerate any pollution or silt in its water. If the stream becomes cloudy or contaminated, the salamander literally suffocates. This makes it a powerful bioindicator, a living alarm system for the health of its entire aquatic ecosystem. Where hellbenders thrive, the water is pure. Their decline signals a river in trouble. Over the centuries, its unsettling appearance spawned dark myths. Many people believed it was venomous, its slime toxic, leading to names like snot otter and devil dog. The truth is far less sinister. The hellbender is completely harmless to humans, its slimy coating merely a protective layer. This gentle giant is a relic from a time long past, a direct descendant of salamanders that walked the earth with the dinosaurs. and its silent presence in a stream is a promise that the water itself is still alive and clean. The wilderness is not always a distant forest, it is a quiet alleyway in the heart of a sprawling metropolis. While many animals have retreated, the coyote has done the opposite, moving into our backyards and thriving in the concrete shadows of every major city across the continent. This is not a story of survival, but of spectacular conquest. The coyote's success is built on an almost supernatural adaptability. Its diet is a testament to pure opportunism, shifting effortlessly from rabbits and rodents in the wild to discarded human food, fruit from ornamental trees, and the abundant rats that thrive in our cities. It is a living, breathing cleanup crew, providing a vital, unpaid service by controlling rodent populations that would otherwise explode without a natural predator. But its intelligence is perhaps most clearly heard in the night air. A lone coyote's howl is a haunting sound, yet it is just one note in a complex vocabulary. They communicate with a symphony of yips, barks, and growls, coordinating hunts and defining territories with a language we are only beginning to understand. Their social structures are remarkably fluid, allowing them to live as solitary wanderers or in tightly knit family packs depending on the environment and available resources. This biological flexibility reaches its most fascinating extreme in their very DNA. Coyotes can and do hybridize with both wolves and dogs, creating unique genetic blends known as coy wolves or coy dogs. These hybrids often combine the coyote's cunning adaptability with the larger size and strength of their cousins, creating an even more formidable urban carnivore. They navigate our freeways, learn our schedules, and raise their pups in the forgotten corners of our own world. A constant reminder that nature's most resilient creatures are not those that hide from us, but those that learn to live alongside us. While the coyote thrives in our world, another creature lives a life so brief it seems to exist in a single, breathtaking sigh. The lunar moth emerges from its cocoon as a vision of pale green light, its wings like delicate, living leaves fringed with long, elegant tails. This is one of the most beautiful moths in North America, a silent apparition in the nighttime forest. Yet this stunning beauty comes with a profound and heartbreaking cost. The adult lunar moth has no mouth, it cannot eat, it cannot drink. Its entire existence as this winged wonder is a race against a cruel clock with a lifespan of only about 1 week. Every moment of its short life is dedicated to a single, vital purpose: reproduction. It must find a mate and continue its lineage before its own body, running on stored energy from its caterpillar days, simply gives out. Its haunting beauty is not for show, but for survival in the dark. Those long, twisting tails on its hindwings are a brilliant defense against its greatest predator, bats. As a moth flutters through the night, a hunting bat uses echolocation to pinpoint its location. The lunar moth's tails, however, create a confusing echo. The bat's sonar often locks onto the swirling tails instead of the moth's body, leading to a misdirected attack that clips a wingtip but allows the moth to escape. It is a sacrificial decoy, a piece of its own beauty offered up to cheat death for just a little longer. This moth is a living poem written in jade and moonlight, a reminder that in nature, the most dazzling things are often the most fleeting. Even in the heart of a bustling continent, you can walk right past a master predator and never know it was there. The bobcat is a ghost of the woodlands, a creature whose entire existence is built upon the art of remaining unseen. Its spotted coat is not just a pattern, it is a cloak of shifting light and shadow, perfectly mimicking the dappled forest floor, allowing it to melt into the background with an almost supernatural ease. But its camouflage is only the beginning of its stealthy arsenal. Those distinctive black tufts on its ears are not merely for decoration. They act like sophisticated satellite dishes, funneling the faintest sounds directly into its ears. A rustle of a mouse in the leaves or the snap of a distant twig becomes a clear signal, pinpointing the exact location of its next meal. This incredible hearing is matched by a patience that seems almost endless. A bobcat will stalk its prey for hours, moving with a slow, deliberate grace, its body low to the ground, every muscle coiled and ready. It waits for the perfect moment when the prey is distracted or has taken a single misstep. Then it explodes into action. While it primarily hunts smaller animals like rabbits and squirrels, a full-grown bobcat is a formidable and powerful hunter in its own right. It is more than capable of taking down a full-sized white-tailed deer, a prey that can weigh 6 times its own body weight. It achieves this by using its powerful hind legs to launch onto the deer's back, then delivering a suffocating bite to the throat. This ability to bring down such large game reveals the true strength and ferocity that lies beneath its quiet, unassuming appearance. The bobcat is a testament to the power of silence, a reminder that the most effective hunters are not always the loudest, but those who have mastered the quiet art of becoming one with their world. A beak loaded with fish is not just a meal, it is a declaration of success. The Atlantic puffin wears its vibrant, striped beak like a badge of honor during the breeding season, a flash of orange, blue, and yellow that signals its readiness to provide. This remarkable tool is far more than mere decoration. It is a highly efficient fish-carrying system, a biological marvel of engineering. After a successful dive, the puffin does not swallow its catch. Instead, it uses its powerful tongue, which is covered in backward-facing spines, to press a fish against the roof of its mouth. That roof is lined with its own set of hinged, spiny ridges. The fish is held securely in place, pinned between the raspy tongue and the spiny palate. This ingenious mechanism allows the puffin to open its beak and catch another fish, and then another, without losing its previous catches. It can stack dozens of small, silvery fish crosswise in its beak, all held in a neat row before returning to its burrow. In a single trip, a parent can deliver an entire meal to its single, waiting chick. This incredible haul is the result of a life spent mastering 2 very different worlds. The puffin is an expert swimmer, using its wings to fly underwater with powerful, graceful strokes as it pursues small fish. It is so adept that it can catch and hold a new fish in as little as 15/100ths of a second. Then, it must transition from the ocean to the sky. Launching itself from the water requires a frantic, pedaling run across the surface, its wings beating furiously until it gains enough lift for a swift, direct flight. This ability to excel in 2 elements makes the puffin a master of both sea and air. Its colorful beak a brilliant, temporary tool that ensures the next generation gets the best possible start in life. Even the names we give animals can be a kind of deception. The javelina, often mistaken for a wild pig or a boar, is actually a completely different lineage of hoofed mammal, a unique resident of the American Southwest. This collared peccary is a creature built for a harsh, sun-scorched world, and it navigates that world as a tight-knit family. They live in small, vocal herds, communicating with a chorus of grunts, woofs, and tooth clacks, a constant chatter that strengthens their social bonds. Their family unit is their fortress, and they defend it with surprising ferocity. One of their most distinctive features is a powerful musk gland on their back. When the herd is alarmed or needs to mark its territory, this gland releases a pungent, long-lasting odor, a scent so potent it can cling to the brush and soil for days, a clear message to any intruder that this land is taken. To back up that olfactory warning, they are equipped with sharp, straight tusks. These are not for digging, but for defense, and a cornered javelina will not hesitate to charge, using these tusks with startling speed and power. Yet, for such a formidable animal, its primary food source seems almost deliberately hostile. The javelina thrives on the prickly pear cactus. It approaches these spiny pads with apparent indifference, crunching them down spines, glottids, and all. Its tough, leathery mouth and a specialized digestive system allow it to process this seemingly inedible plant, extracting vital moisture and nutrients from a living pincushion. In the javelina, we see a creature that defies simple labels, a social, smelly, and resilient survivor that turns the desert's most fortified defenses into its daily bread. A creature of serene grace and immense size navigates the sun-dappled waterways of Florida, its life dictated by two simple, powerful hungers. The Florida manatee, often called the sea cow, is a gentle giant whose entire existence revolves around the constant need to eat and breathe. This is not a life of frantic activity, but one of slow, deliberate motion. As a mammal living in an aquatic world, it cannot extract oxygen from the water. It must regularly pilgrimage to the surface, rising with a soft, puffing exhalation to take a new breath of air before sinking back into the quiet depths. This cycle repeats every 3 to 5 minutes, a rhythmic punctuation to its day, but its need for air is matched by an even greater demand for food. To sustain its massive body, which can weigh over 1,000 pounds, the manatee is an obligate herbivore. It dedicates 6 to 8 hours of every single day to the patient work of grazing, its flexible, bristled lips constantly pulling at aquatic grasses and vegetation. It is a living lawnmower of the waterways, consuming up to 10% of its own body weight in plants daily. This amounts to well over 100 pounds of salad every 24 hours. Such a colossal appetite is necessary because the plants it eats are notoriously low in nutrients, requiring vast quantities to fuel its slow, steady metabolism. This very act of endless grazing makes the manatee a vital, if unassuming, ecosystem engineer. By cropping the seagrass beds, it prevents any single species from dominating and allows sunlight to reach the younger shoots, promoting healthier and more diverse underwater meadows that benefit countless other species. Yet this peaceful, cyclical life is constantly interrupted by a modern danger. The manatee's need to surface for air and its habit of swimming in shallow, coastal waters puts it directly in the path of speeding boats. The scars crisscrossing the backs of many wild manatees are a silent testament to these collisions, a tragic and common threat to an animal that moves with a quiet patience the world has largely left behind. Beneath the open expanse of the Great Plains, an entire civilization thrives in the dust. A prairie dog town is a metropolis of tunnels and chambers, a subterranean world of astonishing complexity that can stretch for hundreds of acres and house thousands of individuals. These are not simple burrows, but carefully engineered structures with separate rooms dedicated for specific purposes. There are sleeping quarters, cozy nests lined with dry grass. There are specialized chambers for nursing the young, keeping them safe and warm. There are even designated listening posts near the surface to monitor for danger, and specific tunnels that function as latrines, a level of civic hygiene that is almost unheard of in the animal kingdom. But the true marvel of this society is not its architecture, it is its language. When a sentinel prairie dog spots a threat, it does not simply scream a generic alarm. It unleashes a sophisticated call that is, in effect, a detailed description of the approaching danger. Researchers have discovered that these chirps and barks form a complex vocabulary. One specific call can identify a hawk, while a distinctly different vocalization describes a coyote, but the description goes far deeper. The same prairie dog can alter its call to communicate the predator's size, using different chirps for a large human versus a small one. It can denote the color of a person's shirt and even the speed at which the threat is moving. This means a single, brief burst of sound can translate to a sentence as complex as, "A tall human in a blue shirt is approaching slowly." This linguistic ability allows the entire colony to respond with precision, not just blind panic. They know whether to dive for cover from an aerial attack or to stand their ground and mob a terrestrial intruder. This intricate social structure, built on a foundation of clear communication, transforms these small rodents from mere inhabitants of the plains into the architects of their own vibrant, chattering, and deeply intelligent world. Patience takes on a whole new meaning in the murky waters of the American South. The alligator snapping turtle is a living fossil, a rugged dinosaur of the deep that hunts not with pursuit but with pure, calculated deception. This behemoth, which can weigh well over 200 pounds, spends most of its life sitting perfectly still on the river bottom, its algae-covered shell mimicking a mossy rock. Its mouth is held wide open, revealing a secret weapon. On the floor of its mouth, a small, pink, worm-like appendage wriggles and dances, a perfect imitation of a juicy baitfish. This fleshy lure is attached to the turtle's tongue, and it controls the twitching motion with subtle muscle movements. To a curious fish, this wriggling treat is an irresistible meal. The fish swims directly into the gaping maw, investigating the tempting lure. In a flash of incredible speed and power, the turtle slams its jaws shut. The sound is a hollow, wet clap, and the fish is instantly crushed in a beak so powerful it can snap a broom handle in two. This is an ambush perfected over millions of years, a masterclass in using stillness as a weapon. The myths surrounding its bite are legendary, with old tales claiming it can bite through a canoe paddle. And while this is an exaggeration, the force is immense, driven by massive jaw muscles and a head that can be as large as a man. This creature is a testament to longevity as well, with a potential lifespan that stretches beyond a century. It is a patient monarch of the river, a predator that lets its food come to it, proving that in the wild, sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is take the bait. The most fragile of creatures undertakes the most epic of journeys. Each fall, millions of monarch butterflies ignite the sky, a river of orange and black flowing south from Canada and the United States on a 2,000-mile pilgrimage to a specific, tiny region in the mountains of central Mexico. What makes this migration truly impossible is that the butterfly that arrives in Mexico has never been there before. It was born along the route. This is a relay race spanning multiple generations, a journey where no single individual ever sees the final destination. The last summer generation, known as the Methuselah generation, is biologically unique. These butterflies delay their sexual maturity and enter a state of reproductive diapause, allowing them to live for 8 or 9 months instead of the usual few weeks. They are the super generation, equipped with enough stored fat and endurance to fly the entire distance south. They navigate using a sophisticated internal compass that combines the position of the sun with a timekeeping mechanism in their antennae. They are reading the sun's arc across the sky like a map, correcting their course throughout the day. When they finally reach the high-altitude Oyamel fir forests of Mexico, they cluster by the millions on the tree trunks, creating a living, breathing tapestry that drapes the entire mountainside. They will remain here in a semi-dormant state through the winter, surviving on their fat reserves. Come spring, as the days grow longer, these same butterflies awaken, mate, and begin the return journey north. But they will not make it far. The females lay their eggs on milkweed plants in the southern United States, and then, their energy spent, they die. It is their offspring, that new spring generation, that continues the trek further north. This cycle repeats over 3 or 4 short-lived generations, each one pushing the frontier of the species a little further, repopulating the summer breeding grounds. Then, as the days begin to shorten at summer's end, that special long-lived generation is born once more, and the impossible southward flight begins all over again. It is a story written not in the life of one butterfly, but in the collective memory of an entire species, a navigational miracle passed down through bloodlines, guiding them to a winter home they have never seen. While a butterfly relies on a generational map, a tiny desert dweller has mastered the art of creating water from absolute dryness. The kangaroo rat is a testament to life's stubborn will, a creature that can live its entire, long life without ever taking a single sip of water. In the blistering heat of the southwestern deserts, where liquid is a distant dream, this small rodent has perfected a set of biological innovations that border on alchemy. Its survival depends entirely on the seeds it gathers and stores in its underground burrows. When it metabolizes these dry seeds, a chemical reaction occurs inside its body. The process of breaking down the carbohydrates actually releases water as a byproduct. This metabolic water is all the kangaroo rat needs to survive, a self-contained hydration system fueled by its daily meals. Its entire body is engineered for water conservation. Its kidneys are hyper-efficient, producing urine that is up to 5 times more concentrated than a human's, extracting every last possible drop of moisture before excretion. It does not sweat, and it spends the hottest parts of the day in its cool, humid burrow, breathing in the moist air it exhales. This underground home is its fortress against the sun. To gather its food, the kangaroo rat is a marvel of desert mobility. Its powerful hind legs are built like springs, propelling it in leaps of over 6 feet to escape predators in a frantic, bouncing dash. Its long tail acts as a rudder for mid-air steering, providing balance during these high-speed escapes. And when it forages, it uses expandable cheek pouches, external fur-lined pockets on either side of its mouth, to carry a large load of seeds back to its larder without having to make multiple risky trips to the surface. But its most fascinating sense is one we can barely comprehend. As it sits quietly in the dark, the kangaroo rat listens with its feet. It can detect the subtle, almost imperceptible vibrations of a sidewinder rattlesnake slithering through the sand, or the cautious footsteps of an owl approaching on the ground. This seismic hearing gives it a critical head start, allowing it to kick its powerful legs and vanish into the night before the strike ever comes. It is a creature that has turned scarcity into abundance, living a full and vibrant life in a world where water itself is just a memory. Its mouth is a circular nightmare of concentric rings, lined with dozens of sharp, keratinous teeth. The sea lamprey is a primitive fish, a living fossil that has drifted through the oceans for hundreds of millions of years, and its method of feeding is as ancient as it is gruesome. This jawless creature is an obligate parasite. It does not hunt in the conventional sense. Instead, it uses its suction cup-like mouth to latch onto the side of a larger fish, clamping down with relentless force. Once attached, its rasp-like tongue goes to work, scraping away at the fish's scales and skin until it breaches the body wall. It then secretes an anticoagulant into the wound to keep the blood flowing freely, and proceeds to feed on the host's bodily fluids, essentially drinking the fish alive. The host is often left with a gaping, fatal wound if it does not simply succumb to blood loss or infection first. This horrifying strategy was confined to the Atlantic Ocean, where co-evolved fish populations could generally withstand the pressure. But in the early 20th century, the lamprey found a new paradise. The expansion of man-made shipping canals, particularly the Welland Canal, gave it access to the pristine, predator-free waters of the Great Lakes. For the lamprey, it was like stumbling into an all-you-can-eat buffet with no security. The native lake trout, whitefish, and other species had no evolutionary experience with such a predator. They were utterly defenseless. The lamprey population exploded, and the results were catastrophic. By the mid-1900s, commercial fisheries were collapsing. The lake trout, once the king of the lakes, was pushed to the brink of extinction. The entire ecosystem was thrown into chaos, its balance shattered by the arrival of this single, voracious invader. The lamprey did not just attack individual fish, it systematically dismantled an aquatic empire that had taken millennia to build. High in the thin air of the western mountains, a feathered gardener is hard at work, its mind a living library of locations. The Clark's nutcracker, a pale gray corvid, performs a mental feat each autumn that seems to defy the very limits of animal intelligence. As the pine cones mature, this bird begins a frantic, crucial task. Using its sharp, sturdy beak, it expertly pries seeds from the tough cones of the whitebark pine. It does not eat them all. Instead, it collects them in a special pouch under its tongue, a built-in shopping bag that can hold dozens of seeds at once. Then it flies away, seeking out just the right spots across the harsh alpine landscape. It chooses areas with specific soil and sun conditions, often on south-facing slopes where the winter snow will melt away first. With a precise jab of its beak, it buries each tiny cache, a cluster of 2 or 3 seeds tucked safely just beneath the soil's surface. A single nutcracker will do this not hundreds, not thousands, but tens of thousands of times. One bird can create over 30,000 separate seed caches in a single season, scattering them across dozens of square miles of rugged terrain. Then winter descends, locking the mountains in deep snow and ice. This is when the bird must rely on its incredible memory. Months after hiding its treasure, it begins the recovery process. It does not scratch randomly at the ground. It flies with clear purpose to the general vicinity of a cache, then uses visual landmarks, rocks, fallen logs, and the lie of the land to pinpoint the exact burial spot with astonishing accuracy. Scientists have found that these birds can remember the locations of the vast majority of their hidden seeds, a recall success rate that rivals and in some tests even surpasses that of many primates. This is not a vague sense of direction. It is a precise, three-dimensional mental map of a vast wilderness, a cognitive map detailed enough to find a single, unmarked grave under feet of snow. This spatial memory is so powerful it is housed in a specially adapted hippocampus, the brain's memory center, which actually grows new neurons each fall to handle the immense storage load. The consequence of this incredible memory extends far beyond the survival of one bird. The nutcracker, in its quest to feed itself, becomes the primary planter of entire forests. It inevitably forgets a small percentage of its caches or is prevented from returning to them. Those left behind seeds, perfectly planted and spaced, then germinate in the spring sun. In this way, the Clark's nutcracker is not just a seed eater, it is a co-creator of its entire ecosystem. The vast stands of whitebark pines that define these high mountains, trees that provide food and shelter for countless other animals, exist largely because of the flawless, industrious memory of a single, remarkable bird. It is a living link in a cycle of life, its mind so sharp it literally sculpts the landscape for generations to come. Yet even the strangest adaptations can reach their ultimate expression in the deep. To close our journey, we descend to the cold, dark seafloor, where the hagfish offers a final, spectacular display of nature's bizarre creativity. This eel-like scavenger, a primitive relic from a time before jaws evolved, looks utterly defenseless. It has no true spine, no fearsome teeth, and moves with a sluggish, almost pathetic grace. But when a hungry shark takes a bite, the hagfish unveils its secret weapon. Instantly, it unleashes a defensive reaction that is both grotesque and brilliant. From hundreds of pores running the length of its body, it exudes a milky, thick substance. On contact with the surrounding seawater, this substance explodes. The proteins and mucus fibers within it expand at an unbelievable rate, creating a suffocating cloud of slime. In mere seconds, a single hagfish can transform a tank of clear water into a viscous, gelatinous trap. For a predator that breathes through gills, this is a death sentence. The slime clogs their delicate breathing apparatus, forcing them to release the hagfish or risk drowning on the spot. But this incredible defense creates an immediate problem for the hagfish itself. How does it avoid becoming entangled in its own sticky, suffocating weapon? Its solution is as ingenious as the slime itself. The hagfish, lacking the bony structure to simply wipe itself clean, performs a contortionist trick. It ties its own body into a perfect, overhand knot. Then, with a deliberate, sliding motion, it pushes that knot from its head down the entire length of its body. As the knot travels, it acts like a moving squeegee, scraping the thick slime from its skin and pushing it off in a discarded clump. It then slips free, leaving the slime behind as a warning to any other predator foolish enough to attack. From a creature that seems like a biological antique comes one of the most unique and effective survival strategies in all of nature. A reminder that sometimes the wildest solutions are not about sharp claws or powerful jaws, but about turning your own body into a living, knotting, self-cleaning slime factory. From the living slime of the deep sea to the generational maps of migrating butterflies, these 33 facts barely scratch the surface of a continent overflowing with biological brilliance. Each creature, from the frozen frog to the explosive shrimp, reveals a world where the rules of physics and biology are not just bent, but completely rewritten. Nature in America did not just go full crazy, it engineered a masterpiece of survival, one bizarre and beautiful adaptation at a time. These animals are not just curiosities, they are vital threads in the intricate web of life, each one playing a role in ecosystems that have been millions of years in the making. Their existence is a gift of constant wonder, a reminder that the wildest stories are not found in fiction, but are happening all around us. This incredible diversity is our shared heritage, a living treasure that deserves our attention and our protection. Help keep the conversation alive by sharing your own favorite bizarre wildlife fact in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into nature's strangest creations, subscribe for more explorations into the hidden wonders of our world.